I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up? So most of the people I sold franchises to, more successful than I was, made more money than I made, but I was doing something for them they couldn't do for themselves, and they recognized it and saw the value. But those who thought they were more successful, made more money, and smarter than I was, and had all the answers, I'd say, sorry, this is not for you. We're not going to sell you a franchise. And number three was I didn't think they had the work ethic, core values to be an entrepreneur, work for themselves, because being an entrepreneur, and I'll go back to one of your earlier questions, is not a 40-hour work week. Being an entrepreneur is probably a 60 to 80-hour work week. It's a cut in pay, cut in benefits, you're the one who has to clean the bathrooms. You're the one who has to do the dirtiest, nastiest jobs until it monetizes, and then you can basically hire and delegate people do the other work. But in the beginning of time, you're the first one in, last one to leave, and you do not make a big paycheck.
Right. I'm so happy that we had that chance, man. How's it been since I've seen you last? We're rolling already, by the way, man. We don't have an agenda here. We're just going to jump into the conversation and keep shooting the shit, if you know what I mean.
Shooting the shit. I don't know what that means.
Oh, come on, man. As many great stories as you told me that night, or I should say as much nonsense as you shared with me that night, I think you have a much broader understanding of the world than I do.
Manny, I don't lie, and I very rarely embellish. If I tell you a story, it's basically how I recollect the story being actually happening.
Right.
So there's no bullshit there.
I love it, man. I'm just busting your chops, man. I'm just a man that's going to constantly, forever bust your chops because of how we set the tone when we first met. Just FYI. It'll keep you young.
Yeah. You might not want to poke the bear, bro. You might not want to poke the bear. Hey, how long have you been doing your podcast?
Man, we've started doing it consistently just over a year ago. So that was a big transition point for us. And then I have been doing it since 2016, but those first 6-7 years were just on and off. Just because I enjoyed it. It was fun to do it. But then this past year, I decided I was going to take it real seriously and decide to go and be very much more different than I was before so we can actually build it the way that we want to build it.
Has it monetized?
Not yet.
So what is the motivation in doing a podcast?
Wait, are you interviewing me or am I interviewing you? This is my show, damn it. You're supposed to follow what I say.
Right. Hold on for a second.
I can tell I can tell everybody about my podcast later, man. You're supposed to be doing all the talking. I'm the questioner.
Well, then ask a question.
I know, man. I know. I see. This is what we did for about 2 hours at dinner a few weeks back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're just picking up where we left off. So listen, did you go back home to, was it Kansas City? Is that where you're at?
Kansas City. You might be familiar with Kansas City. There's probably a lot of people from the Kansas City metropolitan area in Vegas last weekend.
That's quite a bit. They were everywhere, actually.
They were the ones smiling.
Did you go down to the parade and celebrate with everybody else that you guys won another Super Bowl?
I don't do crowds.
Oh, good.
Not that kind of crowds.
All right, man. Listen.
Last crowd I did was Woodstock.
Gotcha. Oh, my God. That's a while back. I like it. All right, I'm going to stop busting your balls, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself, brother. I know you've got an incredible entrepreneurial story, and I know we had such a it was really one of the best conversations I've ever had at dinner, and you are so diverse in your understanding of life and your experience in life. Big Bob, He goes
Manny,
by
Manny,
what,
Manny,
man? See,
you're talking to me.
why you cutting
When
me
you
off?
talk, make eye contact, would
Fuck.
you
Oh,
please?
Jesus Christ. Here we go. We're going to start this again, man. If you guys aren't watching this, you got to watch this because this is going to be a fun one. This is what we dealt with last time. Listen, I don't want to make eye contact with you. You're ugly, bro. I can't be doing this.
Wait a second. Wait a second. What year were you born?
1986.
86, 86,
86.
86. What city?
Right here, baby. You know I'm homegrown right here in Las Vegas.
Vegas, Vegas. No, I wasn't in Vegas in 86.
You're going to pull that on me again? Listen, if you were my father, if
Wait,
you
wait,
were,
you let me do that to you a second time.
if you,
That's not
I
my
know,
fault.
I got it, man. I got it. Listen, let me make sure everybody knows the same thing I told you. If you were my father, I would tell you, you can't be my father anyway. How about that one? See, I got
You
you
would
back.
have been emancipated.
I,
I would have emancipated you a long time ago.
oh, man. Hey, what's all that stuff behind you, man? That's really cool, by the way. I like your backdrop. You got all these beautiful photos of
Artwork.
sports and art. Yeah, man. Tell me
You
a
want
little
to
bit
look around?
No, well, listen, I mean, we're podcasting. If you can tell a great story and share the background with me, that'd be great.
A lot of it's all personal memorabilia. I sponsored a car NASCAR race, and my logo and a bent fender's up on the wall. I got a couple of pictures of the Chiefs and Chief paraphernalia. Um, got a signed picture. I've only asked for 2 autographs in my life, and one of them was Terry Bradshaw back in '72, and the other one was Oscar Robertson, probably about '73, and that's the only times I've ever asked for autographs. Um, let's see. I got something. Willis Reed coming out in Game 6 of the Knicks playing the Lakers. Iconic game for those who don't know. Mickey Mantle, my boyhood hero. Tiger Woods is up here. Family and sports,
Nice.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it, man. Makes me feel a lot like it was when I was growing up because the same types of images, pictures, and stuff like that. That's why I think we're more alike than we are at odds than we joke around to be. Hey, man, tell me about the entrepreneurial journey, man. I know you talked the whole time we were at dinner last time. I couldn't get a word in, so that was kind of depressing. But my point is,
a lot of it has to do with the fact your story's not that interesting and mine is. Okay.
So good, man. Fill us in, man, because it's really good. I really am excited for you to share your journey of entrepreneurship and the successes you've had and the great big companies you built and all the great little twists and turns in the middle of it, man, because I know there's a lot of those in there.
All right. I've told this story probably 1,000 times. So I just take a deep breath and I tell the whole story the same way I've told it before. I graduated from Ithaca College, 93 out of a class of 95 in phys ed. One's the best. It's pretty good. 93 out of 95. Why even bother? My teachers told me I had ADD. I told them they're wrong. I had straight D's. Thank you.
Comedy show here, guys. Pay attention.
Thank you. Right. 6 weeks later, I had a full scholarship to Northwestern grad school to coach football. Left Northwestern, went to the University of Pittsburgh, coached football there. 75, 76. My dad calls me up and he said, "Son, I'm on food stamps. You got to come home, bail me out." Moved down to Florida, waited tables 6, 7 days a week, 3 meals a day, gave my dad all the tip money. I was making 90 cents an hour plus tips. And after 9 months, he said, "I'm back on my feet. Come work for me." He was buying land, building cheap little one-family homes. First week on the job, he says, "I want you to sharpen my pencils. This is how I like my pencils sharpened, and you're not doing it right." I said, "Pop, I love you, but I can't work like this." So I left working for my dad, got a job, retail flooring in Sarasota, Florida, 76, 77. Moved to New York City, worked retail in New York City for 3 years, got a job as a mill rep, moved out to California. My territory was Mojave Desert, Death Valley, and Fresno. After about 4 or 5 months, my boss calls me up and he said, We want to transfer you to Kansas City. I said, spectacular. I'm getting a raise. He says, no, it's not a raise. I said, a promotion. He says, no, it's not a promotion. I said, well, what if I don't want to move to Kansas City? And his response was, we'll give you the finest letter of recommendation we can. So I moved to Kansas City. First week in town, I met a young lady, fell in love, bought a house, got married, didn't like the carpet in the house, so called up the mill I was working for and have them ship me some nice, beautiful carpet for my home. Trying to offset the expense of the carpet, the freight, the pad, the labor, I came up with this brilliant idea, and I put a 3-line classified ad in the Kansas City Sunday Star to sell the used carpet off the floor. By Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, 6 people had called, asked for directions, came to the house, and the carpet is sold. I got another 50 phone calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off of a 3-line classified. Been in business now 40 years, by the way. If I had taken a full-page ad out Sunday in the Kansas City Star, I don't think I could get 50 people to respond. So I've sold carpet in Florida, New York City, half of California, all of Kansas, half of Missouri. Never even heard the word used carpet. Haven't heard it. Pick up the Yellow Pages. There's 180 listings of flooring in the Yellow Pages. No listing for used carpet.
Wow.
Nobody sells used carpet. Look under furniture. There's 45 used furniture and appliance dealers. Called them up. None of them sold used carpet. So 9 days later, I opened up Big Bob's used carpet shop. One moment, please.
It's coming. Here we go.
And this was the first card and logo.
Wow. Check that out. Bob's Used Carpet Shop. Wow. Bucks.
Big bucks.
Big bucks. Big bucks.
BUCS. Now, people say, well, your name's David. Why did you call it Big Bob's? And I said, well, I was moonlighting. I didn't want my boss to know from out of town that I had my own retail stores. 1. 2, my mother-in-law said, number 2 is big ducks, David. Big ducks don't fly. And my mother-in-law said, you're lucky your name wasn't Fred.
Big bucks. Is that it?
So there you go.
Is that
so,
it?
Yeah, big bucks.
Did I get that right? Okay, good. Just want to make sure, man. Sometimes I got to clarify, man. Right?
Well, that's I'll draw you a picture. You want me to draw you a picture? No. Maybe you can catch up if we use sign language.
Listen.
Anyway, so we opened up Big Bob's, and 9 months later, I quit my full-time job. I moonlighted for 9 months, opened up a second store, started getting some notoriety around the country, licensed the idea, monetized the licensing, franchised the idea. And at one time, we've had stores from Anchorage to Boston, Winnipeg to Corpus. I think we've opened up between 105, 110 stores over the 40 years. Our best year, we did about 50 million. Now, the business cost me $15,000 to start.
Wow.
It was a $15,000 startup before we cash flowed. And our best year, we did 50 mil. Sold my franchise company. And now I'm just coasting with my brother, Adam, and my 2 boys, Joe and Mike, who run the local retail stores. During the course of the journey, we won Small Business of the Year from the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, the Blue Chip Initiative from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Ernst & Young finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year, wrote a nice book. Now I'm doing a podcast of my own called What's Up, Big Bob? And I got 2 or 3 deals on the side where I'm consultant with businesses that I hope to take from relative startup to $100 million companies.
You know, you should do that podcast, man. I don't think anybody wants to listen to you. I think you should just shut it down.
We have 17 people subscribing right now.
Yeah, see, I told you, nobody wants to listen to you, man. You see, you're gonna put more gray hairs on your head than you need, man. Than you need. Right.
Any hair on my head would be welcome right now.
Yay! By the way, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a continuation of where our conversation started the first night. So get used to it. No, man, that's fantastic. So I think, look, I have an interesting vantage point on what you just said, right? So obviously 40 years, 105 to 110 stores, best year, 50 million. Naturally, somebody like me wants to say, hey, what are some of those success stories, or what are some of the things that you did to help you be more successful? But I kind of want to flip that, Bob, and I want to say, tell us some of the shit you can expect, some of the freaking moments, the days, the hardships, the stuff you're going to go through that are going to test you to figure out if you're built for it, the stuff that's going to punch you in the gut, the stuff that you and I bust each other's balls on, but it's real truth and it hurts you. Like what are some of those hours and days and weeks and months like where it's going to be the hardest maybe you've ever expected it, or maybe your vantage point is that it's not hard, it's depending on this or that? I'm very curious on your perspective, because that's where I know you are very wise, obviously, and all of our joking, I know you're a very wise man, which is why we're here. So I'm curious on your...
Manny, that is a perspective, a question that shows the width of your wisdom, because most people are only interested in the success stories. During our franchise, during the tenure of my owning a franchise, we'd had annual conventions, and we started out with best ideas. We'd have half-hour cut off for, let's share all our best ideas, 1%ers, because if we can come up with a new idea that would increase the top line 1% or 2%, something would trickle down to the bottom. After doing that for years, we changed it to, what are your big fuck-ups? Because a great idea might make you 1 or 2 or 5% more money, but avoiding a fuck-up could save your whole business.
Ooh.
So addressing negatives is probably one of the best ways to ensure lack of failure. I'll give you 1 or 2 examples. One of the first leases I signed, I went to put up my signage, and the guy said, at that time it was called Big Bob's Used Carpet Shop. The guy said, we don't want you to put used carpet on your sign. We don't want the word used. And I said, wait a second, that's the name of my company, Big Bob's Used Carpet. He says, yeah, but your lease says that we get to approve the sign. And we're not going to approve the word used in your signage. I read the contract again and again and again, and he's right. It said that my landlord got to approve signage. So what do? I mean, I'm already in the building. I have the sign ordered. It's already been paid for. It's hung already. And he says, you got to take it down, put up a new sign. So one of the first things you do is read contracts, right? Don't assume. And there's lots of negotiations in building a business. And one of my philosophies is, if I never have to deal with you again, I want to see blood on the floor. We're going to negotiate until I win. If it's a long-term relationship that we have to do business over and over and over again, I'm a big believer in lose-lose negotiations. I'm going to have to pay more. You're going to sell it to me for less. You're going to feel you lost. I'm going to feel I lost. We can move forward. Because if I win and you lose, you may choose not to do business with me again, even though I need to do business with you. And vice versa. But if you both lose, you move forward together. If one person wins, it sticks in their craw. And win-win is basically like a unicorn. There's hardly anything win-win in negotiations. So lose-lose is one of my mantras on how to negotiate.
What about a negotiation? So that's fantastic inversion of sort of what you read in literature, and that everything has to be a win-win. I mean, I don't think you go anywhere where you pick up a negotiation book and it doesn't say, what's the win-win? And
Doesn't exist. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn.
because the outcomes of what transpires usually leads to something that doesn't end up as such. Is that what you're saying?
No, if I go into Macy's and they got a shirt for $80 and I pay $80 for it, that might be a win-win. But if I go into a secondhand store and they have a winter coat for $80 and I know the price is negotiable and now we're negotiating, I want to pay 40, they want to sell it for 80. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If I pay 80, they win.
Mm.
If I pay 40, I win.
Mm-hmm.
So 60 might be a lose-lose. And we're both okay with the lose-lose.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right? There's a lot of things in life are non-negotiable, but the things that are negotiable in life, lose-lose is the best.
So what do you do negotiations, I guess you could say, inside of them? What's the approach that you take? Even though I understand lose-lose, obviously you said if it's a one-time business transaction, you're going for blood on the floor, which means you want to win. So how do you approach that? I think there's a lot of attitude towards.
I've had many wins in negotiation with long-term vendors. And the answer is, it can't always be about you. So I'm down in Dalton, Georgia. I'm going to buy a couple of trailers of carpet. I walk into one of my vendors and I say, where's your pain? What product here are you having the most problems moving? You overpaid for something. Nobody wants to buy this particular SKU. Where's your pain? And he'd show me something, and he said, I overpaid for it. I got to sell it at this price. It's ugly. It's nasty. And I'd say, I'll take it. I'll take that off your hands. And for the next 45 minutes, as I'm filling up my trailers, he's giving me 20 to 35% off everything else I'm buying, because I took his pain, right? Where normally he would not discount it. He might discount it 5 or 10%, but because I took his pain, he gave me a deal. My other great story would have been, walked into a customer where we're buying discontinues and stuff like that. And he shows me 6 opportunities to buy. And instead of saying, this is too high, I want to pay this much for it, I just nod, smile, and say, no, thanks. No, thanks. No, thanks. And after he showed me 6 products, I said to him, show me something I can't say no to. And he went back to the first product and knocked 35% off of it. And he went back to the second product and knocked 35% off of it. I never asked for a better price.
Interesting.
Right? I asked him, show me something I can't say no to.
What a great way to say it.
Because if I ask for a better price, there might be some built up animosity. You're saying what I'm selling doesn't have enough value for you? Is that what you're saying? And I'm saying, no, I'm just not going to buy it at that price. So I allowed him to negotiate with himself.
So that's a fantastic technique as one would be able to process. In that sense, is that more innate for you? Where you?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
It was innate.
I just taught you. You might be able to somehow work it into your routine and your values and how you communicate. But I never saw anybody do this. Years ago, I went to a coffee shop, and we had a Saturday morning. It was a meeting, and as I was getting up, I noticed they had 9 huge huge coffee buns, cinnamon buns in the counter. And I said to the waitress, how much are they? She said, they're $4 a piece. This is 30 years ago. They're probably $10 a piece. And I said, how about I give you $1.50 and take them all? She said, absolutely not. I said, let me speak to the owner. The owner comes over and I said, it's 10 o'clock Saturday morning. You're probably done for the day selling your cinnamon buns.
Mm.
You're going to throw them away. You can't serve them again tomorrow. The shelf life is very, very short. Why don't I give you $1.50 and I'll take them all? The owner looked at me and goes, okay.
Sold.
Because the owner figures out I'm not going to sell 3 of them before we shut down the cinnamon roll business. Cash in hand, out the door. Let me take my loss and move on. Almost everything is negotiable if you ask the right way.
Interesting. How do you spot that? How do you think that way, though, Big Bob? That's the main thing, right? How does a brain get rallied around this concept of everything's a negotiation? What is the trigger or the catalyst to get them moving in that thought process? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like when they do go to the donut shop, they're thinking like that. They're not lazy and weak-minded.
Well, first of all, I have 7 employees back at the warehouse. I figured I'd bring them back to the warehouse and give them to my employees. If I was going home for the day, what am I going to do with 9 cinnamon rolls? So you have to have a need before you have an ask. You got to have a home for the solution. I mean, why take them if I was going to end up throwing them away just to prove I could buy them cheap?
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, one could argue that you were practicing your negotiation skills.
Well,
you were. I mean, hey, man, if you're good at it, why not keep practicing when you
recreation. Sometimes it's just for recreation. But I'm going to say something that I have not said out loud that often in my life. Manipulation is a great word. A lot of people think manipulation is ugly, has an ugly connotation. Manipulation is ugly if you're taking advantage of somebody for your own benefit. But if you're manipulating a situation where both people benefit, manipulation's okay. I was helping out the baker by taking the 9 cinnamon buns off his hand so he could not worry about it for the rest of the day. He's done out of cinnamon rolls, right?
Yep.
So I manipulated the situation to help somebody else out and help myself out. So to manipulate's not ugly. It's only ugly if it's self-serving.
Well, look, man, you manipulated me to get you on this damn podcast, so it's unfortunate. See, manipulation works, man.
Maybe someday I can reciprocate and put you on my podcast where all 17 people can watch.
I wouldn't come on your fucking podcast if you paid me to, man. How's that for them apples? That's the mic drop right there. See, that's a funny joke. Y'all better laugh at that.
Brenda,
you better laugh.
Just suck her off.
Stop recording right now, right?
Stop recording.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, we also had some, I thought about, because I love where we're going on negotiation and manipulation. See, I think that, and we had some really deep level conversation around these topics, sales. And when you say manipulation, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have the correct interpreter. When I say interpreter, not somebody that's interpreting something for them, but the mental interpreter that helps them loosen what they receive words-wise. And so everything is offensive or it bothers them, or it's like, fuck, it's just a word. And if you understand the complexities of the word and the diverseness of the word, it can have a meaningful impact, right? So that's what you're saying with manipulation, Big Bob.
Look, if somebody knocks on my front door and says, I'm a roofer, let me give you a bid on your roof. And there had literally been a hailstorm recently. Is he manipulating me into buying a new roof because I need one? He's only manipulating me into buying a new roof if I don't need one. But if I need a roof, it's not manipulation, it's salesmanship.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's an ugly connotation if he's upgrading me or selling me something I don't need just to benefit himself.
Right. Right. But that's based on the action. So I think what you're saying is connecting to what I was saying, where generally the manipulation is based on what it is that person's doing with the sense of awareness around what that person's doing. Listen, like you just said, if there's a need and you're trying to provide the solution and you're manipulating them for the good, great. If you're there and the need's solved, but then you're trying to get them to invest more or spend something that they don't need to, then that's unfortunately the action of that person should be ridiculed to some extent, but not the essence of the word. The word manipulation is just a word.
Look, you are by reputation, a sales trainer. Yes?
You know that. By the way,
I just heard that you were. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the material yet. But I heard you're a professional sales trainer.
By the way, one of my clients just closed a $90,000 a year deal, baby. Come on now.
Give me some.
Boom.
Give me some.
Boom, baby.
So, congratulations.
And that's what we do, man. That's what we do.
Congratulations. Did he need it?
You're damn right he did.
Does he need the help?
Yes, he does. They all do.
No, some people don't.
Sorry,
need
the ones
help.
I'm working with. Let me make sure I clear my words. The ones that I'm working with, and they paid me for it, they need the help. Not all people. That's what I meant.
Have you ever? So I'm selling franchises for a living. Mm-hmm. Used to. I'd say to 30% of the people I talk to, this does not work for you. You got to walk.
Right.
I won't sell you a franchise. And the reason I only had basically 2.5 reasons. Number one, they couldn't afford it. They were going to leverage everything they own, put all their eggs in one basket. And I know there's no 100% guarantee you're going to be successful. And I didn't want to be the one that put their life savings at risk.
Totally.
Right?
I agree.
One. Two, they were smarter than me. They had all the answers. If you're smarter than me and you have all the answers,
why do you need me?
Certainly don't need to be paying me to teach you something if you already have all the answers.
Right.
So most of the people I sold franchises to, more successful than I was, made more money than I made, but I was doing something for them they couldn't do for themselves, and they recognized it and saw the value. But those who thought they were more successful, made more money, and smarter than I was, and had all the answers, I'd say, sorry, this is not for you. We're not going to sell you a franchise. And number three was I didn't think they had the work ethic, core values to be an entrepreneur, work for themselves, because being an entrepreneur, and I'll go back to one of your earlier questions, is not a 40-hour work week. Being an entrepreneur is probably a 60 to 80-hour work week. It's a cut in pay, cut in benefits, you're the one who has to clean the bathrooms. You're the one who has to do the dirtiest, nastiest jobs until it monetizes. And then you can basically hire and delegate people do the other work. But in the beginning of time, you're the first one in, last one to leave, and you do not make a big paycheck.
Right. Right. I don't think to the depth of what you just said, obviously to hear it, I'm sure that's commonplace, but to experience it's a whole nother level. What did you resort to in those moments to keep you going? How did you keep going in those trying times like that, where you are thinking, oh, what am I doing? I'm sure you did. Will this work? With, by the way, no guarantee of a payoff in entrepreneurship, right? Depending on none.
None.
And
80% of new startup businesses fail.
Right. Right. So in your case, how are you fighting through all of that mental adversity that is telling you it's stupid, it's dumb, it's whatever? And I'm very curious about how everybody holds their place in the process to keep marching forward to, in your case, get to 50 million and then offloading over 100 franchises? I mean, what's the mentality there?
In the beginning of time, fear of failure.
Hmm.
I will not fail. If it means first one in, last one out, doing all the work, not delegating anything, touching everything, I'm going to be success. I will not fail. I don't know if I'm going to be successful, but I will not fail. And if I fail, it's not going to be because I didn't work hard enough.
Wow.
It's because I didn't work smart enough or I got unlucky. I'll fail for those reasons. That's outside of my control. The only thing I can control is how hard do I work. So fear of failure was my great motivation at the beginning of time. Once we hit critical mass, once we monetized, once I thought it was difficult to fail, I changed my motivation to fear of not fulfilling the potential.
Interesting.
Right? I'm not fearful of falling off the mountain. I'm fearful of not climbing to another peak and then another peak. I'm not going to fall off the mountain. That's not going to happen. I've climbed this mountain. I can't fall off, but there are more peaks to climb. And that was my motivation, that I had the potential, I had the drive, I had the juice, that I had to utilize it to get the most out of me, fulfilling my potential.
Yeah.
That's your journey right now. Your journey, Manny, might be, how do I fulfill my potential?
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
You might be past the failure part, that you're critical mass, you've made enough, you're moving forward. So what is your motivation? Your motivation could be like mine was, not fulfilling potential. And how far can I take this? How many paths can I go down? How many different mountains can I climb? Because we all have, they say that there's only two things you know for sure: taxes and death. Well, guess what? You can cheat on your taxes. You can't cheat death. So you have a limited amount of time. And most people lose juice farther down the line. So the time you have is somewhat limited on what you can do to fulfill your potential.
Do you think that they lose juice because they get later and they feel that they've failed themselves? Or is it an actual I get the physical part, but then it's like, look, you're an old raggedy ass. And so
look at the two guys running for president right now.
Right.
They're about the same age. One has very little juice left, and the other one doesn't seem to be bothered by advanced age, and he still has a lot of juice.
Right.
So as we get older, right? I mean, I'm going to tell you, Biden had a lot of juice 20 years ago, just doesn't have a lot of juice left anymore. It diminishes for different people at different rates.
Sure.
A lot of people don't even live as long as Biden has lived, let alone expect to lead.
Totally.
Right.
Yes. So it's obviously a wide variety of what life deals you in terms of a deck of cards that you have to play the hand, right? So I'm thinking that in that sense. So is your answer to that question more, because I want people to really think about this, because I think there's 30-year-olds, 35, 40-year-olds right now, 45-year-olds that think that they're late and might be giving up on themselves and might be having a hard day because they didn't fill their potential, because they feel like time has passed them by. And you're saying that there's still hope. You're saying that there's still possibility. You're saying that there's still the chance for them. I'm curious just your perspective on that.
I consider myself very, 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 very lucky and unusual. My first try, I hit it out of the park. My first venture into being a entrepreneur, small business owner, I hit it out of the park. Lucky, good. Worked hard. I think it was work hard and got lucky. Wasn't that I was good.
So wait, worked hard, so therefore you got lucky.
Well, I got lucky too. I mean, yes, the harder you work, the luckier you get, la, 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 la. But yeah, I got lucky because I'm not that smart
Mm-hmm.
or wasn't that smart. Success begets success, which makes you more confident, and more
Sure.
confidence allows you to make better decisions, and better decisions make you more successful. I get that part. If I had to start another business, would I be able to hit it out of the park? I don't think so.
Mm.
How many businesses would I have had to try to get one that worked like this? Maybe 20. I got lucky that I did it the first time. So a lot of people try and fail. I would tell them, get up and try again. Get up and try again. Get up and try again. I mean, in baseball, if you hit 1 out of 3, you go to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Right? In life, if you fail the first time, you're going to give up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you only you're looking for the one. You're looking for the one, right? I mean, again, in your case, you got it early, right out of the gate, and it was. And again, I'm not saying, you quit after you get the one. I'm saying that the one that hits, it could be in the beginning, like you had it when it shot out of the
Colonel
gate.
Sanders,
right? He didn't come until it was what 60s? Is it was 60s?
70s.
70s. Wow.
Right? Trump didn't go into politics until his 70s.
Right. But he was obviously wildly successful in business for many, many years. So that
Yeah,
part
but he
really.
tried something new.
Yeah.
And he's doing something brand new.
Right.
And if you go back to the reports of him coming down the elevator, it was a joke.
Mm.
And everybody said, absolutely no way. And with tenacity, not with being smart, maybe being coached, but he smashed everybody in his way. He just ran everybody over in a venue he had zero experience in.
Yeah.
Did he get lucky? Was he smart? Did he outwork everybody? I think he got lucky and he outworked everybody. I think working hard and getting lucky is the key to success. Look at you. How smart are you?
Not very smart. It's funny. I say this to myself all the time, man. I'm like,
Right.
look, I'm not that smart.
Why are
man.
you successful?
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's subjective. But when I think about why I've made such great progress in my life and this new phase of my life sober is because I've always just taken massive action, man. Like I've just taken the action and it's like
is that the same thing as working hard?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Did
It's
you
a
get
parallel.
lucky?
I had some things that happened in my life timing wise, yes, that were I don't know that I could duplicate them or teach anybody else to repurpose them. One was getting brought in to go travel
You
the
worked
country.
hard and got lucky.
Yeah. Totally.
Worked hard and got lucky.
Yeah.
Right? And when opportunities knock, you don't complain about the noise. You look at the opportunity, you weigh the opportunity, you weigh the options, the pluses and minuses, and you making a decision. And your decisions were aggressively yes.
Sure.
Full commitment. There's an old story about the pig and the egg, the pig and the pig and the chicken crossing the street together, and the chicken says, "Hey, let's go for breakfast." The pig goes, "Whoa, for you it might be a contribution. For me, it's a full commitment."
He's gonna end up on that plate, man.
Right?
That's funny. Funny.
When you were crossing the street, you were making the full commitment. It wasn't a contribution. You were all in.
And it's evolved, Dave. It's evolved a bit because now there's a new the things that have happened I'm very thankful for, but the now level, the now place that I'm at is requiring me almost to it's collectively I'm taking what I've learned and I basically figured, over the last 7-8 years, I've got an MBA in communication, a master's in sales, and I've been on the stages and I've podcasted. And so I'm taking all that. And now it's to the point today where it's time to unlock another level, kind of like you said, right? And in my mind, I'm still looking at it like, oh, what that big win. Although the other ones I had were wins, but I'm looking now to take it to a whole nother stratosphere. And that's requiring me to put another hat on where I have to go back into this war zone and battle to make sure that that happens again. And that's asking a lot of me to become another version of myself and meet a new person inside myself.
I would tell you part of the secret to success is hiring, training, supervising, delegating, empowering, holding accountable a team of people that have the same goals and the same drive as you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only pull the wagon so far, so fast by yourself.
Right.
So having a team of people around you, you have a better chance of success.
Cool.
So in my business, I was blessed to have my brother Adam, who ran the business. He's a CPA. Nothing slips through the cracks, right? I got two boys. I've had hundreds of employees, but right, most people who stay with us have the same core values we have. You know, treat the people right, treat your customers right. Don't lie, cheat, steal. Show up early, stay late. I mean, core values.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to take it to the next level, I don't know how big your team is, but it's only going to be as far as they can take you.
Sure.
Because it's a leveraged, building a business isn't linear, it's leverage. And so you have to leverage the energies of the people around you. So all the ships rise in right?
Yep. Yep.
That's what you got to do.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I follow you there. That makes plenty of sense. It's a big year for me to think about the word that comes up a lot lately is who, not how. It's also a book that somebody suggested to me, and I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, and I hate using that word. I read the whole book, but applying it, I think the tricky part of being an entrepreneur is identifying the timing of when. So I do have people that help me with a lot of the little stuff that takes stuff off my plate, freelancers, different contractors there. But then it's like, okay, well, what are the next main pieces that I need to put into place to do the things that I can do? And then matching that with, well, we're growing the revenue of the business, but then also the part where, okay, well, who we paying? What are we paying them for? What role? Like there's just a lot of little nuances, right, that you're going through, which is the entrepreneurial journey, figuring out some of these details. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with you there, man. That was it's actually on my 2024 business plan where it says to delegate and put who in place more on some things that are taken away from me. So that's spot on.
It's identifying the people, the quality that somebody can do that part of the job as well, if not as better than you can, or even 80% as well as you can, but you don't have to do it. Frees up your time to do something else.
Right.
If you're maxed out on time, you're going to be maxed out on potential. So the answer is, how do I free up my time to free up my potential? And the way you free up your time is delegating.
No, of course. And so look, anybody listen, so I think spot on. I hear you, but at the same time, other people, certainly myself at certain points of the entrepreneurial journey would say, okay, well, we got to make more money in the business, right? So wouldn't you agree that you have to cash well, revenue produce well, generate in order to put that person in place properly? So what's your take on that? Because that's one of those paradoxes.
Chicken or egg.
Right.
So an entrepreneur has to be a bit of a gambler. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have much to lose, it's easy to put it all in. When you have something worth losing, it's scary to put it all in. You rather, let's grow slower because I don't want to put more risk. Because if you put it all in, the potential is you can lose it all. So I don't subscribe to, once you hit critical mass, putting it all in again. I think you've worked too hard. You conquered the odds. You're already a success story. Why risk it all again? But the people who hit the home runs and not the slap singles are the people who put it all in again and again and again and live to tell the story without failure.
Hmm.
And it's okay to fail. You just can't fail with all the chips in one hand. You can fail few chips at a time. You just can't fail the hands where you got all your chips in. So you got to pick and choose when to run hard, when to back off. Oh, when to hold them. Oh, when to fold them. Right. So thank you.
Everybody
Thank you.
just left the podcast because you tried to start singing, man. Fuck, I'm going to see the drop off numbers go crazy.
How many people are going to
we are
listen to
now
this?
talking to ourselves.
How many people were listening to this before I started singing?
About as much as your podcast gets, 17, 18. I don't have a heart attack on me, man. We don't want you. We need your good energy, man. I don't want you to pass out because I made you laugh too hard in a podcast. I don't want the legal stuff. I don't need Brenda coming after me and all this shit. Your estate, all your brothers and sisters, man. Fuck. I don't want all that headache.
All right.
You got it?
So all 17 of you watching this, I hope you had a good time.
Hey, I have, we had a lot of good, you brought it up earlier, the sales conversation. I'm on a mission, obviously, to help bring sales into a different light. And I'm curious why you think people reject sales so much on a more macro level. Obviously, the entrepreneurs get it. The guys that get in there and are grinding it out get it. But why does the normal fucking human being out there that's like, I can't sell. I don't like to sell. I hate it. It's not, ew. It's like, why? What happened to them, and why are they all fucked up because of whatever sales has done to them?
First of all, everybody sells. Whether you're 5 years old or 25, we are all selling. Mommy, can I stay up later? Mommy, can I have an extra cupcake? Mommy, right? Dad, teacher, can I, we're all selling, right? We're all asking for something off the menu, and that's salesmanship. One of the reasons why the consumers hold salespeople in contempt is they don't want to be sold. They want to buy something. They just don't want to be sold something. So people assume when you walk into the car dealership, the person wants to be sold the car. He doesn't want to be sold the car. He wants to buy a car. And there's a difference between somebody trying to sell you something and someone helping you make a informed decision on what you need to buy. And so the worst thing a customer could ever say to me when I'm selling is, boy, you're a great salesman. Because when I sell, I don't want anybody to see me selling. Selling is not a good thing. Selling has an ugly connotation. So I'm all about the servicing. I'm trying to service your needs. Fulfill whatever it is you're trying, whatever bucket you're trying to fill, I want to help you fill it. I have a little bit more experience and knowledge in this particular product than you do. Let me help you. I don't get a vote. I don't have a voice. All I am is sharing information. And then I'm selling. They don't see the selling. They shouldn't see the selling. All they should see is a genuine concern about me trying to fill their needs. Now, if I don't close a sale, I don't make money. I get that part. I'm trying to close the sale and make some money. But the customer should never see that. And too many salesmen don't know how to disguise the fact that they are professional salespeople.
I like that.
And that is why selling has such an ugly connotation.
Because they're not good at it. And therefore, because they're not good at it, they come across as someone that's just trying
Greedy motherfuckers.
to, yeah,
Greedy, selfish,
Mhm.
self-serving motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Who wants to do business with that guy?
And so it
Who,
affects,
no matter how slick he is, who wants to do business with that guy who is overconfident, pushy, aggressive, always be closing, trying to get the deposit, right? That's all the customer sees. Who wants to do business with that guy? Nobody. Why? So the secret to selling is nobody should ever see you selling. And you can put that in your books, in your programs if you want to.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a freebie for you.
I like the word disguise. That was a good word that you used there. You also shared a lot of other great sales knowledge with me that night at dinner too, which I think was paramount. I don't know if you can remember some of that stuff. If you want to jump in and share that, that'd be great too. But on that note though, so I very much hear what you're sharing. I still think that, I get the approach. You said, they shouldn't know that you're selling, that we're supposed to help people buy. And even though it's you're still a sales professional, you're still a sales person, you're still that's the responsibility, that's the job title, right? Even in great companies, you're still no, sorry, they've changed them nowadays to make all kinds of other new names for them. I get it, but for some reason, it's still that people are bothered by like you said, the notion of this idea of sales because they've been affected before for some reason. Somebody came off too strong. Somebody said something they didn't like, but the macroeconomic functions of business only happen because of sales.
Nothing happens. Nobody gets paid until somebody makes a sale.
Right.
Nobody. The secretary, the warehouse guy, the owner. Nobody gets paid until somebody makes a sale.
Right. Right. And so what you said even about people loving to buy, look, people love to go down to Starbucks and buy a coffee. Now, the difference is somebody's not there trying to get them and go through that process to say yes to buying a coffee. They already know they want a coffee. They just got to go up, place their order. And so how do you bridge those two where that there are transactions happening at the buy level with products that are more commodities, Starbucks, and you go to the grocery store, you're buying the material. You're not trying to go have somebody sell you unless you're at Sam's, Costco sometimes, you got people walking around.
Wait a second. Manny, you missed it. Those people sell without people. They sell through merchandising.
Correct.
That's how they sell.
Right.
They're not relying on the interaction with the bartender. They're reacting on the merchandising and the marketing that is there before them. The label on the can, the dew on the vegetables, the lighting on this, the label on that. That's salesmanship. That the marketing is part of the merchandising, which is part of the sales presentation. So
different method. That's fantastic viewpoint, by the way. That's really good that you've identified that. That's solid.
Right.
Because there's so much that's happening behind the scenes that are influencing the decision for them to buy that product over something else without the interaction.
When you go in the grocery store, I assume you buy Pepsi or Coke based on its flavor, but some people buy it based on advertising, on the merchandising, on the colors of the can, right? We are influenced thousands of times every day unknowingly by merchandising, marketing, and subliminal sales that is not obvious like a used car salesman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that, again, I'm slightly hot and bothered about the idea that people think that the thing overall is bad though, and they don't realize that it's happening at all places, at all times, at all stages. So how do we get people to not, because what I'm saying also is, here's the other thing that I have an issue with, Big Bob, is that, I like saying that, by the way, I have fun saying Big Bob.
Yeah.
The issue that I have, so going back to kind of what we talked about earlier, in general of this entrepreneurial conversation, You've got a lot of people out there that don't want to work for a company anymore. You've got a lot of people that want to start their own business and go try this dream life out. But they are the very people that reject sales and don't like sales and refuse to sell. Therefore, in my opinion, sales is the first step, the gateway, the bridge to becoming an entrepreneur. Because if you can't sell your product, well, you're SOL anyway. And if you can't overcome all the stuff that comes along with sales, then you're never going to bridge to the other side of entrepreneurship. So I go back to those same people are the ones that won't go want to sell something and it feels odd to them. Therefore, they'll never have their full opportunity to reach their potential like we talked about.
So I've been told I'm a good salesperson. Okay. You know why I can't sell snow to an Eskimo?
What kind of snow are we talking about?
Jesus, drug addicts. No, do you know why I can't sell snow to an Eskimo?
Because you're in the summertime.
Give me a straight answer, would you please, bozo? Do you know why I can't sell snow to an Eskimo?
I don't have an answer for it. I don't know. I would be guessing. Let me give you that answer. How about that? I don't know. Tell me.
Because I don't believe an Eskimo needs snow.
Okay.
If I don't believe in the product, I can't sell the product. All right. 1. 2, I'm thrilled to death that the people who are ashamed, embarrassed, put off by selling their own product that they, in a business model they want to set up, I'm thrilled to death they try putting their life savings on the line because they're going to fail. And with their failure makes my success even more glowing. The more people who fail make what I did even more amazing. And the reason why they fail, and there's 2 reasons, a bunch of reasons, but underfinanced is 1. 2, they don't know how to sell. 3, they feel entitled and don't need to work quite as hard because now they own their own business.
Right.
And if I own the business, I don't have to work 65 hours a week because I only worked for the man 40 hours a week. So why should I have to work 60 hours a week for myself?
Totally.
They don't get it. And for them, I go, ain't that a shame? Too bad. So sad. Because if you're not willing to put everything on the line, get out of your comfort zone, and go make something happen with the sweat of your own brow, not just dream about it, but make the action happen, you don't deserve to be successful. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You got to make it happen. How do you make it happen? Step out of your comfort zone, do shit you don't want to do.
That's about, yeah. Look, I think that's powerful how you say just because you want it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
You don't deserve it.
Everybody wants a new life. Everybody wants to make, everybody wants, I mean, man, that's probably the number one thing you hear in somebody's verbal vocabulary right there, right? It's like, I want. Okay, well, what are you doing?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to get it?
Exactly.
Are you going to be the Michael Jordan who shows up every practice before anybody else and stays late? Look, one of the secrets in life is discovering what your natural gift is. And then spending the time and energy that supports the skills that support that gift. And your natural gift might not be a business owner. Your natural gift might not be in sales. Your natural gift might not be baseball. Your natural gift might not be. You got to find what your natural gift is. If it's cutting grass, go out and become the greatest landscaper in the community. If it's doing hair, that's your become the best at the natural gifts. Find the natural gift and then develop the skills that support your natural gift. Not everybody is meant and built to climb the mountains. Some people are just, right?
Interesting. What would you say with your old wise ass wisdom? I got a big smile on my face, Lazy. So with people that are listening to this right now, that can't see us, they're probably like, dude, this is rough, man. He's just like messing this guy up, man. What would you say my natural gift is after spending a couple hours with me? Honest answer. Don't mess with me, man. I don't want to hear your bullshit and joking with me right now.
Wait, what is softball? um, I know what you might think your natural gift is.
Hmm.
You might think your natural gift is self-confidence.
Okay.
Um, I don't think you have discovered your natural gift yet, but you are close to it. You're in the right genres. I think your natural gift might be communicating with people, whether that's sales, whether that's picking up a girl at the bar. I think you have a natural gift with people.
Hmm.
So I don't know how to monetize it. I don't know how you're going to monetize it, but I think you have a natural way of relating to, seducing people into your sphere of influence. I think that's how you got to where you are today. I don't want to say the word manipulation. I want to say, and the word seduction might also have a ugly connotation, but I think you have manipulated and seduced your way to the position you are today, and you're figuring out what to do with this new power, the power you have, because I don't know if you know what to do with the power you got.
All right, man. I'm done. Thanks, man. I'm out of here. I got what I wanted. No, I'm just kidding, man. Let me
Is
say
that any
something.
good?
You are like 98.5% spot on, in my opinion, based on, and I was very curious to see what you were going to say, because I'm always curious to hear from outside perspective as well as what I'm looking at, because I think that needs to match up as best as it possibly can. And you are pretty spot on, man, with how I connect and communicate with people, and how I can instantly build a bridge and a bond with somebody. Now, again, you were
Yeah.
right though. Like, how the fuck do you monetize that? So it's worked in sales, it's worked in, podcasting, and so that's. But you're on it, man. Like, you nailed it. So, and I like how
But
you said you don't even know
you
you.
got to figure out, without doing harm,
Mhm.
how do you monetize it?
Right,
Without doing harm, how do you help other people?
right, yeah,
Because once you have this power, it's too easy to use it just for yourself. Instead of sharing it. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I'm doing with the BTBY, Becoming the Better You, is it is giving me great pleasure. It is giving me fulfillment. It is filling voids, helping other people. That is my gift to myself, is helping other people. And I've served boards, I've served on community services, but this is the first time I'm actually helping groups of people. I've helped people one-on-one all my life, but I'm helping people now. And that is the most fulfilling thing I can do. So, all 17 people watching, find a community service, find something where you can give back. Doesn't have to be a check. Time, energy, love, affection. Give back, serve our community, and you will feel more fulfilled yourself. So if you're looking to fill your voids, it's not all money.
Mm.
Manny, it's not just money. You think the scorecard is money. It's not. The scorecard is self-fulfillment. This is very profound. The scorecard is not about money. The scorecard is about self-fulfillment. Because people who think it's about money are chasing money. That's their scorecard. Can never have enough money.
Mm.
You're always chasing more.
Right.
how to keep what I got, how not to lose it. People who are giving and are judging their life on fulfillment, helping others. Okay, do more if you want to. You're helping more people. Ain't that a bad thing?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So there you go.
No, man, that's great. I appreciate your feedback there. I think that, and I value it, man, as much as we spar here in the podcast booth ring.
It's Muhammad Ali against some schnook from the street. Come on, you don't have a chance here.
Wait a second. I actually see Muhammad Ali behind
like
you,
a
man.
bee and floating like a butterfly.
Oh man, that's just bad imaging in my head, man. I don't want to see you floating around like nothing, man. You're
in a cocoon. You're the little caterpillar in the cocoon. I'm the bee and the butterfly.
You guys have to please go watch this on YouTube to see how he just moved his body, man. I didn't know you can move that fast still, man. That's impressive.
You know,
that's impressive.
I played 4 sports in high school and 3 sports in college.
I know.
You only played 1.
Listen, I played 2.
No, I'm not talking about playing with yourself. I'm talking about playing baseball.
At least you're still playing sports, because I can damn near guarantee you're probably a Super Bowl champion in that sport now, aren't you? All right, man. Listen,
I'm picking up pickleball.
Before more of the 17 keep falling off because of our nonsense, we're gonna have like 2 left. So most of them left when you started singing anyway. But for the few remaining, we got to wrap this thing up. I'm gonna have you back because there's a lot more I want to talk to you about. We didn't even get a chance to dive into our politics.
Sex or religion?
Sex or religion? Yeah, we didn't get a chance to get
politics, sex, and religion. What else is we talking about?
Yeah, that's what people really want to hear, man. They're tired of hearing about this basic, boring success bullshit, if you know what I mean. But to wrap it up, man, I know you just mentioned be the best you, and I'm serious. We are going to schedule another one because I have way too much fun with you, man. I could throw you in as my co-host for once or twice and something, just to bust each other's balls, man.
As long as you're not calling me dad, we're okay.
No. Don't you worry about that, man. Don't you worry about that. I will keep you at arm's bay there, man. I don't know what weird stuff you're into. But that all being said, what do you want to promote, man? You promoting anything? You talking about anything? You sharing anything that matters outside of whatever other crazy stuff you're working on?
The 2 side businesses I have is I'm senior advisor to 2 separate companies. Board member.
You said side businesses, not side chicks, right? Side businesses, side.
I'm in a committed relationship.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Don't, and by the way, being in a committed relationship has more value than being married.
Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
People cheat when they're married.
Of course.
People don't cheat when they're in a committed relationship.
That's powerful, man.
So the 2 businesses I'm involved in is the House of Kush, which is one of the premier names in the cannabis world, and Omni Life, which is cutting edge virtual reality. So I'll give those 2 plugs.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Cool. Anything else? What's Be the Best You? Are you doing anything there?
I'm sitting on the board, and my ambition for them, and it won't happen in my lifetime, is to be a international movement that is inclusive for everybody. There's something in becoming the best you, becoming a better you in a day-to-day way. There's something in it for 100% of everybody on the planet.
Amazing.
And it's totally inclusive for everybody. You can fulfill who you are. Better chance of being who you want to be, which is the greatest goal in life. When we talk to kids, it's who do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up? What kind of person do you want to be? Well, I think almost all of us are broken, or have been broken, or are still broken, and need to be fixed. And it's hard to do it by yourself. And I think this organization is going to help a lot of people who are broken, who need help to become a better version of themselves.
Incredible, man. Yeah, no, yep. You're an incredible human, man. I've along those lines of me knowing what I have a natural thing for, I am very much a censor, not a sensei, a censor. Meaning,
Right.
meaning, if you fucking got that, because I know your brain still moves pretty slow over there. I'm just kidding. Come on, man. You're supposed to laugh at that. You're supposed to give my jokes.
I'm laughing on the
Okay,
inside.
good. Okay, good. But no, you're fantastic, man. So unfortunately, fortunately, we're finishing this one up, and we will pick back up once we schedule another one, so we can dive into some stuff. Because I'm gonna leave a cliffhanger with you all. I think you said to me at dinner one night, the only night that we had dinner.
We had a one-night stand.
We did. We sure did, Vegas style,
We
man.
got fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Wait, who got fucked? Me or you?
I was pitching, you were catching. I don't know.
Oh, come on, man. That's not cool. We can't go there, man. We can't tell them all the behind the scenes secrets, man.
Behind. You got that
Yeah,
part right.
see, I'm just putting myself into a deeper hole, man. Oh, I said it
Deeper hole. There
again.
you go.
I can't keep going. I can't keep, I'm shutting
Keep
up.
going. There
Hey,
you go.
hey,
Jesus. My
Jesus,
Manny.
man. I'm going to stop putting my foot in my mouth. There's another one. So you had mentioned something about you not was it you hate Donald Trump, but you think he's the right guy for the job? What did you say exactly there?
No, I don't like Donald
Don't
Trump.
like him.
I don't like anything. I like very few things about Donald Trump. I find him offensive in many different ways. However, as the president of the United States, I loved everything he did.
There we go.
I liked Obama. I found Obama to be charismatic, intelligent, articulate, great sense of humor. I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with Obama. However, I didn't like anything he did as president. So as I'm forming my opinions on politics, do I go with somebody I like or someone I believe in? Someone who will do something better for America? And there's absolutely no question. I have to support Trump because the alternatives are not good for the United States of America.
Yeah, right there, man. That's it. So we're going to pick that up next time we jam again. So we're going to work on scheduling because we're going to
Just
talk
make
about.
sure we throw in a little sex and religion too.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the only politics, sex, and religion. And
That's the name of my second book, by the way.
Hold on.
That's the name of my second book.
You can't write,
Politics.
man. Don't fuck. You can't stop writing, man. Who's going to read your writing?
A book out there.
Who's going to read
I wrote it.
Let's be honest. Why would anybody want to read your stuff or listen to you, man? I'm serious. You got to stop. You got to stop doing all this extra.
Have you ever written a book?
You only have so much life left. I'm telling you, man. You can't keep doing this stuff nobody gives a shit about. By the way, yes, I have written a book. And number 2, I've got another book being written right now. It's on the way. And if
what was the name of the first book?
And if you're lucky, I'll let you get a taste of it.
Yeah, what was the name of the first book?
It was called Loss, Loss, Vegas, Vegas, The Art of Finding Joy in Sin City. Something miserable people like you never find is joy.
I would love to have back. I would pay for every hotel room that I got for free, every meal I got for free, every chauffeur-driven limousine, bottle of wine I got for free. If they just give me back all the money I lost, I'll pay for all that shit.
Yeah, man, I'm with you, brother. I'm totally right there with you. Hey, you know what we got to throw into that book or that next talk we have? Politics, sex, religion. You forgot the rock and roll, man. We got to talk about rock and roll too.
Wait a second. There's a lot of rock and roll and sex.
I guess you're right. You got me again, man. Hey, you have yourself a beautiful day, my man. It is always a fun time with you. We're going to schedule for the next one. We didn't even get this thing started yet, man. We got another one going here, brother. We're going to have too much fun. All right, brother?
My pleasure. Thank you
Appreciate
very
man.
much.
You're the man. See you soon.